Bună ziua, ne auziți?
Da, vă aud.
Moșe, bine ai venit, te-am văzut?
Eu te-am văzut vorbind cu un domn înainte.
Da, am văzut Mircea Dumitru, uite la aici, te salutăm. Da. Ce faci, stregarule? Pune mâna la... Ce faci tu?
Eu scriu.
Asta știu.
E banal.
Asta știu. Ei, eu îți dau o pauză de la scris și noi începem acum la 4:30 și ție îți vine rândul, tu vei avea ultima prezentare și cu asta închidem balul, bine? Hai să vezi ce vorbim noi pe aici. Că am vrut să...
Vorbesc un sfert de oră.
Da. Bine? Eu voi veni tot aici ca să dau cuvântul, să-ți dau cuvântul și o să-mi vezi fața, după aia am să te văd eu de pe ecran de acolo.
Lasă asta deschisă, eu lucrez la alt computer.
Bine. Atunci,
Cum evenimentele se desfășoară.
Exact. Moșe, cât stai degeaba și noi ținem conferința până îți vine rândul, mai scrii o carte ceva pe acolo.
Nu, o carte, dar niciun articol, dar trebuie să termin poate ceva.
Auzi, eu vreau de la tine mai mult, scrie o carte, ce rost are să scrie articol când poți scrie carte. Mă bucur foarte mult că te văd, să știi că foarte mult. Bun. Te văd sănătos, asta e bine. Te văd, ești bine și asta e bine.
Totul este relativ, dar
asta știu.
Am terminat în perioada asta, când n-am plecat nicăieri, nici măcar n-am ieșit din Ierusalim.
Da.
Am terminat vreo 5 volume, 3 am trimis deja și 2 o să fie în câteva zile terminate.
Ai spus de ele în ebraică, mi-ai spus.
Toate sunt ebraică, dar acum termin o carte în engleză.
Da.
De fapt, conferința care am dat-o la universitate, la Academie, o carte și asta este în engleză.
Bun. Păi asta e poveste românească, dar trebuie spusă în engleză ca să o vadă și alții.
Tu am găsit o mulțime de corespondențe între Izu și Ulafia, dar lucru care este clar că el a cunoscut asta. El spune că el este abonat.
Da.
Dar în afară de asta poate să fie, cum să spun, ceva care nu are consecvențe. Dar am găsit lucruri așa de exacte, care nu poate fi o coincidență. Asta o să fie un excursus, un apendix de cartea în engleză.
Am înțeles. Acum să știi că mă duc să-i aduc în sală și să începem ca să nu întârziem.
Mr. Moshe Idel la televizor.
If we were focusing AI in the correct way, it would be a dynamite tool, but it's not. But that's getting down. For the 20 last years, our output is declining exponentially. Very well. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yes, 1 year.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to resume our conference, so would you please be seated? So first of all, come in to the room and then be seated. We are about to resume. You have to get ready because we start with...
But put my presentation on.
No, you do what you know, and I'll just introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, we start the second part of our conference, of our day or afternoon together. And the first speaker in the second part is Schloer, who is going to talk about the implications of AI for social security, human progress, and survival. And I'm very happy to mention that we celebrate 24 years of 24 years, almost 24 years of friendship, Hardy. We first met in Avignon in 2001 with big plans when with our close friend, the late Mihai Spariosu, Requiescat in pace, and this is when I met Hardy, and then this is when we started our conversation. Now, Hardy, you have the floor.
Thank you. Just give me a second here. I will have very simple slides, so you all can read them very easily. No fancy graphs, just text. Before I start with my presentation, I would like to frame the context of what I'm about to say. AI is the Manhattan Project of the 2020s. Make no mistake. We are all focusing on little details. Can ChatGPT do this, or can some other form of AI do that? We're all hung up in these little tiny details and how we have these little victories to compete with the human mind. But make no mistake, AI has the impact of the atomic bomb. It's just in a different way. And this time, it is not a government that spends billions and 100,000 people that worked under Oppenheimer to build the nuclear bomb. This time, it is every one of us, and all you need is a laptop and an internet connection, and you build the next bomb. It's not a bomb that is explosive in the kinetic sense. It is in the social sense. It is how it is going to transform us, how it is going to impact us, how our future will look like, if we have any. So in this discussion, I want to focus on, and I don't want to be very dramatic here, but that's really where we are right now. We face significant existential risks. Not risks of inconvenience, risk of, is this thing making money over that thing? We're talking existential societal risks. And unless we understand that, we cannot fix it. AI evolves from augmenting human productivity to replace human decision-making and thinking. This raises really critical issues in the impact on society, evolution, global security, and most importantly, human agency. Is it going to be us or the machines? So we want to focus now on what are the risks are, but there's also, of course, the yin and the yang. There's also opportunities, and we're going to talk about them. And then we want to talk about potential interception points in how we could possibly correct where AI may be taking us. So let's talk about the risks first. Economic displacement, inequality, loss of human agency, geopolitical instability, security erosion, ethical and existential breakdown, erosion of social interaction, human connection. These are just some of the points, important points, that we need to deal with. One of the first things that we need to deal with is catastrophic, widespread job displacement. The only reason why any one of you still has a job is because it has not yet eradicated by technology. That's the only reason. Now, of course, eradication of jobs always starts on the middle class, on the lower middle class, and it eats itself up to the higher middle class, and then in the end, it goes to the poor. The effect of that is that we see an extreme concentration of wealth and power of those that control these technologies. Now, whenever I talk anywhere, especially in Europe or also in the US, about wealth concentration, about one-sidedness in society, about how money is being earned and who is having the power due to controlling technology, immediately people will say, oh, it's communism, socialism. Well, it's not an ism. It is a fact that hits all of us, sooner or later. If you look at how big tech in the US is rising to political power, unprecedented, then you can see on that example how that will have effects even for the rest of the world. Even technology that is created here in Europe, maybe in China, Russia, Africa, it will happen everywhere. We need to understand, how do we deal with that? AI replaces human labor rather than augmenting it. That's a real problem. If we use AI to be an extension of us, it's a great thing. If it replaces us, it makes us redundant. It makes everyone in this room here, sooner or later, redundant. Think about that. So when you become redundant, and when machines begin to replace you rather than augment you, then that leads to the Turing trap. You lose bargaining power, and all the money, all the power goes to those that own these technologies. That's a fact. Loss of human agency is another thing that is rather important. Making decisions on behalf of humans is a systematic erosion of individual and collective autonomy. This process has started already. We have already lost autonomy in many different areas. We are addicted to this little thing that you have in your pocket, your little screen. And it begins already to shape you. It begins already to make decisions for you. Here is a big one: geopolitical instability and security erosion. Now, obviously, machines do not have values. If you give machines unlimited power, they will use it, and they will use it against you, sooner or later. And that is not some dystopian idea that maybe is better belong to a dystopian sci-fi movie. No, once we are moving towards singularity, once we are moving towards very, very powerful ways of applying machine intelligence, and once we are letting these connect with each other, we are losing the power. We are losing our values. Because the values that we grew up with out of philosophy of hundreds and thousands of years and ideas in how we arrange societies in a safe way, they will be eradicated by these technologies. Now you probably think, I hate AI. No, it's not true. I make a living creating AI. I build AI platforms. I do AI for the last 40 years. So no, I'm not against AI. I am only talking about where current trends are leading us and taking us. There is a lot of possibilities in how we can refocus, and this is what this is all about. When we give machines the power, they become unpredictable, they become uncontrollable, because they choose their own journey, they choose their own way of achieving goals. Now, when we give these machines goals to achieve and say, I want you to do this, and by the way, these goals are almost always connected only to two things: money and power. Nothing else. It seems that nothing else in the 2020s, or even before, motivates people anymore. Yes, having a family is nice. Yes, having, a nice neighborhood. Yes, inviting friends over on Sunday for a barbecue. Yes, all of these things are still happening. But how society that is continuously moving towards machines that make decisions and machines that implement strategies, even strategies we don't necessarily even understand how they come about, because we tell these machines, make me money, give me power. And that's usually always done by those that deploy these machines, pay for these machines. You have to be clear about that. I think I forgot to flip this slide. This is a big one. Erosion of social interaction and human connection. This has started